you, Richard. One of the things that he kind of pointed out, which I think is really important as you're accessing, in some of you that are in the business of trying to create technologies that will assess data, assessment is critical. In our industry, assessment and data drives financial policies. So without data, it's very hard for us to look at the government and get some funding. Also, one of the things that was critical that Richard pointed out is when we're looking at measuring activity, a lot of you have seen these pedometers that actually measure steps. Not really accepted anymore in the physical education world. We're really looking at activity levels. Far more important to us what a child is doing on an activity level than what he's doing in terms of steps. So as you're looking at developing technologies, start to look outside the box, and you need to look at the guidelines by the National Association of Sport and Physical Education and making sure that the technologies you're developing are actually going to format and fit into the information that we need in our industries. The next guest or speaker is Jim Liston. Jim serves as HyperWear's Advisory Council Chair for Research, Product, and Program Development. Jim is also the president and founder of CATS, the Competitive Athletic Training Zone. Jim is highly regarded as a training expert for youth and professional athletes and celebrities. He has been featured in the New York Times, Business Week, Men's Health. Jim's numerous speaking engagements include the American Physical Therapy Association, the National Strength and Conditioning Association, AFERD and AYSO. I've been in this business close to 30 years, probably seen 30,000 trainers. Jim is probably considered one of the top 10 trainers in the world. So you actually can grab him
awesome.
at $200 an hour, so you might get a fitness tip before he leaves. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Well, in my 5 minutes, I'm here to talk about one thing, and that word is joy. It is bringing back the joy of movement with our friends here at HOPSports and everybody here on the panel. So as I walk down below, because we're going to do a demo, would you just so kindly turn to somebody behind you or in front of you, give them 3 fist bumps, 1, 2, 3, and introduce yourselves. You got about 5 seconds. Thank you. It's nice to meet you all. Hello, Cosmo. Cosmo, yeah, our demo guy. So we're here to talk a little bit about the past. In the past, this guy may have taught your PE class, physical education class. Raise your hand if he may or may not, or she, have been there. Which leads to maybe feeling a little alone and isolated, and with the joy movement stripped from you. And that's happened on a daily, it happens, and it's happened, and it happens on a daily basis. So that's what we're trying to do. And before we go to the next slide, though, could you help me out here to introduce the slide? I need you to tap your leg like this for 5 seconds, and then clap on my cue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cue. Oh, genius. Yep, and my math is correct. Okay, so we are here to offer a solution. Now, the solution is going to be through the integration of innovative products. We have innovative products here. There are a lot of innovative products, around the world, in this country, around the world. But we need to combine them with stimulating technology. We are not looking at technology as the enemy. We're looking at it as our friend. Because what we're going to be able to do is get thousands and thousands of hours of content to teachers, to parents, to coaches, and also teach them how to deliver it effectively. Because we need to be able to do both. It's not just the content, it's also the delivery. So in order to do that, we need to make sure we create an environment where kids feel safe, like Cosmo here, who's going to play catch with himself. Because if you see the way the HOPSports system is set up, each kid will have a piece of equipment and will not be watched by somebody else, criticized, humiliated, berated. And we're also giving Cosmo an opportunity to make a decision to choose what he wants to do, to throw and catch. We can do that. Okay? So it's safe for him. We will need to teach teachers and coaches and parents how kids will become confident. Here, hi Cosmo. You throw the ball up and down, the SandBell, sorry, up and down and catch it. Now, to be confident, we need to praise him specifically. Hey Cosmo, I really like the way you're throwing that. Right? Nice job. We got to get beyond just nice job. I like the way you're throwing it. I also like the way you're absorbing the force, that you're catching it. And Cosmo, I also know that you have been practicing every day after school for the last 3 weeks. So congratulations. Give it up for Cosmo. Come on now. So for Cosmo, we're talking about through technology teaching them to praise appropriately, make it specific and authentic. I praised his performance, and I also linked in the practice. We know he's doing it all the time, which is important for a kid to think that it's important for me, the teacher. Right, Cosmo? I noticed you. And I also talked in the technique that he was absorbing the force, which I was trying to teach in physical education class that week. We can do that through technology. It's really hard to have us take classes, read books, when we can now start to stream it, deliver it, and give unbelievable opportunities for everybody in this audience to get instant access to good content and good delivery. Next slide. Oh, and kids can feel strong, because that's important, right? Because sometimes the big kids we're talking about in physical education class, we make them run a mile, and how do they feel? Feel bad. But maybe we can make them become not the big kid or the heavy kid or the obese kid, the fat kid, we can make him or her the strong kid. And there are ways to do that. Next one. Because we want to create an environment, ultimately, where kids feel a sense of success. And I like this slide because if you see this little baby walking, and that's mom or dad, oh, it's so beautiful, and fall, and get up and fall, and get up and fall. What happens? The child is continuing to fail, really, make mistakes, but the parent is always encouraging. Have any of you been to a youth sporting event for 9 or 10-year-olds? Raise your hand. Have you ever heard anybody screaming at the kids? So now mom and dad, right? Oh, baby, good luck, it's so cute. Oh, you're saying your ABCs. And then all of a sudden you put a soccer jersey on, I'm like, what are you doing? Right? That was terrible. And then the ride home is, you really stink. Maybe you should have scored like 3 goals out there. How do you feel? Really uncomfortable. We didn't set that up. I hate that guy. Sorry. But what we want to do, again, is through the technology, is let's make sure that we have examples like that. We want kids to feel successful, and we can do that. So we can impact, what we want to do is millions of kids around the world. All right. So this is the HOPSports system working with the United Way. We want kids to be engaged in activity. Right? Want them to play. Would anybody like to play with Cosmo up here?
Oh, we need one volunteer.
Just one person.
Who has some eligibility left for scholarship?
Come on over. All Cosmo's going to do, you look like you want to do it, he's going to demonstrate one activity with the SandBell. Give it up for David.